loves, welcome to my channel. Welcome if you're new. It's Cass. Please like, subscribe, comment, and all those good things. Today's video is a little darker, I guess, in some ways. It's a Q&A and a little mini haul, but it's all mental health based. So if you saw my video, not the last video because I just had that one already like saved and everything and uploaded it. This is the first one I'm actually filming since the last one I made, if that makes sense. The one before the last one. I'll link it below. Basically a lot's been going on and I am a part of a few Facebook groups. So I made a post about doing a Q&A and I talked about how eventually I wanted to be able to talk about mental health because I feel like it's a very big issue and I felt that my own had improved so much so that I was ready to talk about it and to maybe help others, whereas now I feel like my own has kind of plummeted. I thought a Q&A would be good, and because I mentioned mental health, all the questions, there's all six questions that people asked me happened to be mental health related. So I thought I would just dedicate this video to mental health. Okay, so stay tuned. I'm gonna answer 6 questions and do a little mini haul of just a few things I bought when I was feeling really down. I'm a part of a few Facebook groups, and in one of them I wrote, I make lifestyle type videos and some random ones too. I posted here recently about grief and loss. I wanted to eventually be able to talk about mental health on my channel because I felt that my own had improved so much and I was ready to help others. But now it's plummeted and I'm struggling. To help uplift, I would really appreciate it if you guys could help me with a Q&A video. I have always intended for my channel to be a safe space with something for everyone. So I thought if people get to know me a little better, it may help with the connection, meaning you guys. There's some photos for reference. Please feel free to ask me absolutely anything. My channel will always be a safe space. Thank you, and I hope you all have a lovely day. I'll show you the photos that I'd included. This one of George and I, and this one of me with a turtle. I included a couple random photos so I guess they could see like what I look like, and just mentioned mental health and that I wanted to do a Q&A. I actually didn't intend for all the questions to be mental health related, but they are, so hence the nature of this video. The first one said, I love this, mental health is so important. My question is the following: how many pets do you have? And do you find that animals have helped you with your mental health? I wish you the best of luck with your channel. That's sweet. Yeah, animals definitely helped with my mental health, especially because I'm quite introverted, so a lot of times where I wouldn't want to leave the house, but I never felt alone because I was with my animals. I had 3, George, Simba and Lucy, though in 2 videos ago I explained that we lost 2 of them within 6 days of each other. We lost George and Lucy, and now we just have Simba. So I just have a cat now. So it's been really hard, but having them with me during my low points definitely helped. Having them gone hurts so much. Animals are just amazing. They can comfort better than a lot of people, to be honest. They're just always there. They don't judge. I don't know, I can't even explain it. It's just a really beautiful connection. So I definitely feel like that animals have improved my mental health, especially like when I'm home alone or something, because really I'm never really home alone. There'll always be like pets and that. Even right now on my desk, that's one of Lucy's pieces of fur. I can tell them all apart. Lucy's is long, thin and white. white usually. Simba's is brown and like browny grey, and George is like thicker, more coarse, but yeah, quite a bit thicker than the cat's fur, and it's like blondie white because he was a golden Labrador. But things like this are really hard. I'm still finding their fur all over the house and everything, and it's not just like finding random cat fur. Like, I know this is Lucy's fur, so it's hard. So when they're gone, it's a hell of a lot harder, but when you're struggling and they're around, just like seeing, I don't know, like seeing bits of fur around the house, or like hearing Lucy's bell when she runs, she's had a little bell on her collar, or like how loudly George would drink his water, he'd lap it up so loudly. Just those little things that we can take for granted are just really, really precious. Make you feel like you've got someone there always. I hope that answers that one. The second question, actually, the second one isn't a question. I realized it's a statement, sort of, but I'm very grateful for it. I'd be very interested in watching. Also, in my most recent video, I was very vulnerable, and the feedback I got so far was very positive. It also felt great for me to say things out loud and announce that I'm working on feeling better. That's beautiful. I'm really glad she's feeling better. Sorry, that wasn't a question. It was in the question section, but yeah, I don't mind that at all. That's really sweet. I'm glad she's feeling better. Next question. I have a best friend who has had depression for years. She suddenly lost her dog and it broke her completely. She is better now, but she isn't doing well as she used to be. My question is, what can I say or do to make her feel better when she feels down? I know there are certain things you shouldn't say to a person with depression. I normally check in with her every now and then, and hey, you are so strong. I admire you for doing this type of content. To keep it up, and thank you. So that's really sweet at the end. It is definitely important to acknowledge that there are certain things that you shouldn't say to people with mental illnesses, because it can be like triggering or be taken in the wrong context. And this isn't just about depression, this is like all mental illnesses. It's good to be aware of what you're saying, because some things can be taken out of context. My answer for this, firstly, like losing her dog suddenly. I lost George and Lucy very suddenly, so yeah, it hurts. I'm guessing that she would have had the same kind of, if she had depression, I'm guessing she would have had a similar relationship with her animals that I had. I'm not saying that I have depression or anything. I'm not here to talk about like my problems or like anything I've experienced or anything like that deeply, because I don't know, I figure it's not that interesting. I am just answering these questions because I'm very passionate about mental health and I feel that it needs more awareness. So I'm answering these questions as best I can, but in what she's going through, I feel like I can relate, but yeah, so just bear in mind. So if she was feeling kind of what I'm assuming she was feeling, it would be that when she didn't want to go out, she didn't want to socialize, she didn't want to see friends or even like a family, she didn't want to do anything, her dog would have been her comfort. Of course, I don't know her, but she had depression and she was like gutted when her dog passed away. I'm guessing that is the kind of relationship she had with her dog, that she was very dependent. Like, I've always been very dependent on George and Lucy, and now I just have Simba, and it's really hard. And I know you're probably wondering, like, how can you be dependent on a cat or a dog? Like, going to bed and then there's, you know, a pet that comes and sleeps in your bed with you or on the floor next to you, or you hear them walking around at night, or just moving around in the house while you're home and it's quiet. It's just kind of reassuring that you're not alone, and because they crave your attention as well and your affection. So it really is like a two-way thing. It's something really beautiful. So where it says being careful of things you shouldn't say, I didn't really think of this until I kind of experienced it, but feeling that your grief isn't valid. I had to take some time off work. I cancelled some plans that I had with people, and everybody was so understanding, but it was so painful to think that my grief may not be valid to some people, because it would be looked at as, oh, it's just a pet, it's just a cat, it's just a dog, it's just an animal. So it was very hard to talk about, which makes it really hard. So I think just encouraging her that her grief is so valid and that this is a really hard time, but letting her know that she did an amazing job, had so many happy memories with her dog, and reassuring her of all the good things, I think definitely helps. And just comforting her. There were times after I lost Simba and Lucy, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to eat. I just wanted to sleep all day, every day. It's all I wanted to do. But I couldn't. If it were up to me, that's all I would have done. So just kind of comforting her, I guess, so that she knows her grief is valid, I think is a really important thing. And I guess I'm always careful about how I say, like, I understand, because I don't want to come off as one of those people who are like, oh yeah, nah, I get like that too. I feel the same, because I could never know how someone else feels, so I can't say that. I don't think anyone else can say that either, so I'm very careful about how I say things like that. I try to say I can relate to that, or I think I could understand. So it's very small changes in the English, but like just being very mindful of how I say things. This next question, are you comfortable being open on your down days? As in telling your audience, I really struggle at times, but I know I will get through this because I have X, Y, Z to see me through. I've dealt with depression and discovered it was spiritual, so I learned how to war against it. With scripture, prayer, speaking against it, etc. There are chemical imbalances, and my next question is, has your doctor ran any tests? Spiritual... I should put my glasses on. That's better. Spiritual oppression is very real, but physical situations regarding thyroid, malnutrition, food sensitivity, hormones, and chemical imbalances are real too. It's a very interesting question. I'm not too sure about being comfortable. I don't think I am yet, but I'm trying to be. Like, I can tell people that I'm struggling, but it's really hard to let them know how I'm struggling, like in what way. And sometimes it's very hard to say, I know I will get past this because there's better things coming, because they just feel so impossible at the time. So, no, I'm not comfortable being open on my down days yet, but I am trying to be. This is a good example, to be honest. And telling my audience that I struggle is hard as well. That's why the last video I posted before this one was just one that I had filmed weeks ago and just uploaded it because I just wasn't ready to film another video like I am right now. But I'm working on it. As for spiritual depression, I'm not too sure. And I guess like if I'm very passionate about something and I'm like, or I'm suppressing something and I'm not dealing with it in the correct ways, I really admire people who turn to things like scripture and prayer, meditation, and all that, because I think it's just a really beautiful kind of thing to be a part of if you can be. I'm not too sure. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm just really indecisive about everything. peace of mind and things around me, I guess. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm really bad at answering this one. The second part of that question was, has your doctor run any tests? Well, yeah, I mean, I have had like blood tests and things like that, because, you know, if I was in a bad place and I wasn't taking care of myself, then yeah, my tests have come back bad. Like if I haven't been eating properly, sleeping properly, taking care of myself. My iron, B12 usually drop first. But yeah, my levels and everything can get bad, I guess. I had an iron infusion last year because it just got too low. It's supposed to be like around 100 or something, 120, and mine was 7. So yeah, I was booked in for an iron infusion the following week. I haven't had any thyroid tests. I've had hormone imbalances as well. I don't know, yeah, I guess the blood tests and all that I have had, like when I've been in kind of lower places, have just shown like lacking in particular like vitamins and things that my body needs, and like hormone levels and things like that. So just things being a bit unstable because I wasn't taking care of myself. But as far as I know, they're okay now, so yeah. Next question. If you have anxiety, how do you cope with it? Yes, I have anxiety. I don't cope very well. No, but I cope better than I used to. I think accepting it is very important. My family isn't very open about mental health or anything like that. It's very much looked at as everybody gets sad, everybody gets anxious, and there's people worse off than you. So like when I did try to actually target ways to help anxiety, it was really strange because it's not really something we talk about at my house. But things that have helped is acceptance. I openly accept and will tell people if it comes up relevant that yeah, I get anxious, like I have anxiety, because it's pretty hard to hide, to be honest. Like most people already know. It took me 4 years to start this channel, actually, over 4 years, because I was too nervous and anxious to like build up the courage to do it. And now that I have made this channel, I haven't told anyone. Ryan knows, and yeah, I haven't really told anyone. My sister kind of figured it out, but like sworn her to secrecy as well, so. And I never film when anyone's home. I'll only ever film home alone because I just, yeah, I can't. And like the thought of like someone I know even watching these is just so bad. So I think the best thing about dealing with anxiety is accepting that you have it, or not that you have it, that sounds bad, it makes it sound like a disease. I think the most important thing is acceptance. So accepting that yeah, you may be an anxious person, that's okay, and just having your own little ways of dealing with things. I play piano, I like to read, I like to draw, I like art and craft, music, and there is a lot of time where I just want to shut off from the world. I don't want to talk to people, I don't want to go out, I don't want to leave my house. I just want to draw, read, just stay in my pajamas all day. And I know that sounds so lazy, but it really is a day where I just focus on what I really want to do, and it's very relaxing for me, and I feel so much better after. So I think making that time for yourself, especially, not so much now because I have done that, but like especially before, I felt very pressured to see friends and that, because it was like people would be asking me to come have lunch with them, come go out, come catch up, sleep over at my house, and I would, but at the same time, like if the plans got cancelled, I was secretly happy because I just wanted some quiet time. I was a full-time uni student, I work full-time, like I don't get this alone time anywhere near as much as I would like it. So I think definitely making time for yourself, accepting it, I guess, is a very big step. And finding things to deal with it as well. So whether that be like drawing, reading, writing, a sport, an activity, just something, just kind of finding your outlets. Because like, yeah, the side effects of it are pretty bad. Like, some people bite their nails, some people like me hack at like the sides of their nails, or like they'll just start hacking into themselves like this without realizing, and they'll just, I don't know, like, it's hard to explain. Like, I just kind of hug myself like this a little bit, like this, and then I just kind of squeeze like there a little bit, and I just kind of end up looking like this, and it looks really creepy, it looks horrible, but I do it without even realizing. So yeah, finding your outlets definitely helps prevent things like that, and staying as organized as you can, because obviously every person is different. But for me, when plans get changed, I get so much more anxious, because like, I thought I had the day planned out and I thought I knew what was happening and where I was going and what I was doing. Plan suddenly changes unexpectedly, I just panic. So staying as organized as you can and learning to deal with what works for you. How do you handle, oh, and this is the last question, by the way. How do you handle people who don't take mental health seriously? Not in a bad way, because I feel like a lot of people I was around didn't take mental health seriously. I feel like it's only just becoming more accepted nowadays. Like, there's a lot of pressures in the world and things like that. Like, people are, you know, people are studying, like, school is so much harder than it used to be. Uni is so much more pressured than it used to be. And not even just a degree, but so much more studies, so many more studies on top of that as well, like masters, honours. Work as well is more competitive than it used to be. Like, obviously that's pretty biased of me to say, because I've only lived in like this generation, so I don't really know. But I feel like there's a lot of pressures and that in the world, and a lot of changes happening in the world, and it hasn't been coped with properly, it hasn't been dealt with properly, and that's why there is a rise in mental health. So I don't really have a problem with people who don't take mental health seriously. I just try to ignore it, because I know that they just don't understand. Like, if they say something really, really triggering or something, like, I know that it's really, really hard, but I try to just tell myself that they really just don't understand. And I really feel like mental health is one of those things where if you haven't experienced it yourself, you couldn't possibly know. And not even just the more common ones, like you know, anxiety, depression, you know, things like OCD, things like that, but even the more in-depth ones. I don't want to single anyone out. Like, someone who has, you know, something like borderline personality disorder or schizophrenia or something like that. I don't have those. I could not even imagine having those. Like, I couldn't imagine hearing or seeing things that weren't there that I thought were there but they're not, like my mind playing tricks on me like that. So obviously they're all to different extents, but there is like mental disorders that I don't have, that I've never experienced, I couldn't possibly imagine. So the few things that I've experienced, I just feel that the people who haven't had that before wouldn't be able to understand that either. I feel like it's anything, like a lot of things in this world, if you haven't experienced it yourself, you couldn't begin to understand it. People going through things that I haven't experienced, I don't feel like I could just compare my situation to theirs and understand. Yeah, I feel like it just goes so much further than that. There's a really bad stigma around mental health, and I'm trying to break it. there are so many advocates for mental health out there. It's amazing how many are setting out to like change the world and everything. I think it's amazing. It's such a good cause. I just want to be part of that, part of breaking this negative stigma and allowing people to actually talk about what's going on in their life and what can be done to help before it's too late. The next part of this video is a little mini haul. These are really great things. I definitely recommend if you're struggling, or even if you're not struggling, because they're just great distractions and are awesome. I bought a breakfast journal. It's a coloured one and I am loving it. I'm actually uploading daily on TikTok, as it's not in order, but I'm uploading one prompt per day. So just to show you like some of the ones that I've done: pressed leaves and other found things. There's like leaves, some flowers, things like that. I didn't pick anything off trees or plants. These are only things I found on the ground, and then I just pressed them down and taped them to make a paper chain. Splatter. It was a random berry I found on the ground. Yeah, so this book basically, it's going to end up very gross, but I don't care. And the reason I bought this was because I was feeling very sad and destructive, and I saw this and I thought, well, why not give it a try? And it really has helped. It's like decently thick. There's a few that I've done, there's still a lot to go, but I definitely recommend it for both the mentally stable and the mentally ill and everyone few and far in between. Definitely recommends this. It's great and I love it. I also bought, this looks really morbid by the way, but just bear with me, this book. It's Beetlejuice, okay, so it's not as dark as it looks. I love Beetlejuice, and he's by Tim Burton, and I found this cute little notebook, and I almost didn't buy it because of everything that was going on at the moment. I thought, oh man, that's so morbid, but you know, it's so sweet. It's from the movie and it's just something cute and fun. I haven't written anything in it yet. I will. And it's just got all these little tabs down the side, like little dividers, and it's got like all the Beetlejuice icons from the movie. It's just really sweet. The cockroach, he sits on the chair. So lots of stickers in the back. I don't know what I'm going to write in it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It looks a little morbid if you don't know the context, but it's sweet. It's like that's my Jack Skellington poster as well, because I love Tim Burton. So it's got a little house on the back. I don't know, it's just really cute, really nice. So basically I bought a journal that is just getting absolutely destroyed, and I bought one to just keep nice and neat, and just to put anything important in, because like this one, of course I'm going to keep it safe and everything, but like this prompt, for example, bring this book in the shower with you, like the book's going to end up pretty cooked. So I bought one to mess up, and just one that just really stood out to me, that I'm really going to enjoy all being like organized and doing stuff in. And the last thing I bought was this candle. It says fancy as fuck. The scent is Fruit Loops. It smells so cool. It smells literally like the cereal. I bought this because candles are very like calming, and they're just something that I really like to have going, especially during the winter. They're very cozy, like especially when I'm reading or drawing or writing or something. To have a candle burning at the same time is just like really nice. Yeah, it's a very small haul and it wasn't intended, but it happened. But it is 2 journals and a candle. It's just something small, something nice. It's definitely helped just to make me feel a bit better. I know obviously you can't buy your happiness or anything like that, but these little things have helped. Like this was pretty hard at first, but now I'm uploading on TikTok every day a different prompt, and it's kind of giving me that feeling of purpose, and people are liking it, so that makes me feel good too. I do want to do a more open Q&A as well though, so not just targeted on one topic. So if you have any other questions, pop them in the comments below. Please let me know what you thought. I really hope that this video was okay and that I answered those questions good enough. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. Please stay safe, take care of yourselves. Bye.